Mike, check 1212. It's the Y2K collector. So I recently went to make a return at GameStop. I guess I had waited too long to make the return, and so all I could do was do an exchange. And so the I was bringing back a controller, and what I got in exchange for it was this copy of Trauma Center Under the Knife 2. Now, I'd actually picked up this game. I picked up part one of this game for the DS and started getting into it a little bit because this is more like basically like a hospital simulator type of game. It seems like from Atlas. And I know there's an interesting story to it. It's got some like RPG elements to it and stuff like that. But this is really cool. At one point, I was gonna get into the medical field, and I thought that this was a pretty interesting game just to take a look at. Now I know Trauma Center Under the Knife Part One wasn't really expensive, but when I went to go add this game into my GameMy app, I was actually surprised that this is like a $45 to $50 game. Now I'm not sure if it's because it's from Atlas, but was actually pretty surprised. I also saw where this sells for like 75 bucks, at least new on eBay. So this is one of those examples of, and the reason why I'm showing this game is because we just had the conversation the other day about having a collection that's pretty much made up of expensive or pricey games. And this is one of those games where someone really might feel like, well, is that game really worth 60, 70, 75 bucks? Because it's not like a run and gun shooter or an RPG, excuse me, or an action RPG game, or it's not anything really crazy like that. But it is a very niche, it's in a niche category. It's in a like niche simulator type of category. And it was published by a really well-known publisher. Atlas is the truth. For those of you who don't know about Atlas, back in the day, they were one of those guys that you wanted to at least see what their games were about, especially when it came to like those weird kind of RPG games. So this is an interesting one. I'm gonna take some time to kind of dive into it a little bit and just see what it's about. And this is an interesting one to find because I've never found this game in the wild before. So a very interesting one to dive into this weekend. We'll see what it's about. But in other news, this is going to be a very fun weekend. So a couple of things, right? It's Super Bowl weekend, so happy Super Bowl weekend to everyone who's into the Super Bowl, into football, who plans on watching football. Hope you enjoy the weekend. It's also supposed to be a weekend of really bad weather, which means staying in unless we're going out to get food and things of that nature, which we probably will need to make a run because I'm going to try doing some interesting sides this weekend. This weekend, what we've got on the menu is barbecue ribs. We've got mini burgers. We've got buffalo wings. We've got shrimp nachos, and then I think I'm gonna try to do something with some like mac and cheese, and I'm also working on like this butternut squash recipe. So I'll take some photos every once in a while. I'll send you guys a photo of some of the food that I get going on my community page. So stay tuned for that. But aside from all the food, right? My daughter is getting more and more into beat 'em ups. Her favorite game right now is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Shredder's Revenge. Even though she doesn't even fight. Like she stands there getting beat up most of the game. I have to run to her aid and protect her, and then we have to bring her back to life with a slice of pizza. But she's really into beat 'em ups, and we've played Shredder's Revenge like non. We've been playing it for like the last 3 months. Like it's that and Mario Party Jamboree is what we've been jamming out to. So what I did was I went down to the game room. I told her I got a surprise for you. I got a new beat 'em up, and so we're gonna start playing Karate Kid. Now I don't know how many players Karate Kid is. Well, it says 1 to 4, so that's good. That's good. At least it's 4 players. So we're gonna start playing Karate Kid. I'm hoping Karate Kid is as good as Shredder's Revenge, because Shredder's Revenge is pretty good for the most part. My favorite player, of course, Donatello. He's always been my favorite Ninja Turtle. Just always been a big fan of Donatello. But my second favorite player in that game is probably going to be Usagi. And then after Usagi, believe it or not, what's the dude's name with the hockey puck? Oh, Casey Jones. Casey Jones is probably my third favorite guy. Is Casey Jones, and then after that it would be is it Michelangelo? No, not Michelangelo. Leonardo. Leonardo would be after Casey Jones. So we'll see what the characters are like in the Karate Kid. But I'm really excited to kind of bring this up now that she's kind of now that we're seeing that how much of a beat 'em up fan she is. This is going to be a good one to check out. And then of course, I don't think I've ever played this game with her before. Now River City Girls is a little bit different because it's only 2-player. So we all can't play. But this is a good one for when like she's the only, like it's just me and her playing video games. This might be a good one for us to dive into. Although River City Girls is a lot harder than it's a lot harder than like Shredder's Revenge. Way, in my opinion, it's way harder, especially the boss battles. Way harder. She's gonna get fried in this game. So maybe we wait a couple years. I mean, I'll give it a run and see how she does. Actually, I don't even need to bring this up because I think I have the game downloaded. Do I have it downloaded to? Because I have two Switches. I can't remember if I have it downloaded to my the full-fledged Switch, the one with the docking station. I can't remember if I had it downloaded to this or to my Switch Lite. I guess we'll see. But for now, at least, I'm going to bring up Karate Kid, and we're going to give it a run. If you've been playing this game, Karate Kid, Street Rumble, let me know where you rank this among Switch beat 'em ups. Where do you rank this game? Is it as good as a Shredder's Revenge? Is it as good as a River City Girls? Or is it on the lower end? I've heard kind of mixed reviews. I've heard a lot of people say that for a beat 'em up, this game is pretty mid, and that there's a lot of other beat 'em ups that you can probably dive into and have a better beat 'em up experience. We'll see, because I recently picked up Fightin' Rage, and I'm not gonna lie, Fightin' Rage is a little boring. It gets Fightin' Rage. I had high hopes for Fightin' Rage. Um, Especially based on the presentation. It really mirrored that whole like early 90s, that what is screen lines. They put the little screen lines in there to give it that whole 90s feel. So I had high hopes for Fightin' Rage, but Fightin' Rage really isn't that fun. There's really not like there's not a really interesting storyline to it. The combat isn't super fun or engaging. It's just a very basic button mashing beat 'em up, side scroll left to right. So, we'll see. What helps like games like Shredder's Revenge a lot is all the extra stuff. The music in Shredder's Revenge is top tier for sure. Obviously, it has a great storyline. It plays on one of the biggest franchises of all time in Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So aside from the good combat in Shredder's Revenge, it just has all the other stuff going for it. So I'll see where Karate Kid lands. It's going to be a beat 'em up weekend, probably beat 'em up, Mario Party Jamboree, and then Just Dance. She's a huge fan of Just Dance. That's what we're going to be doing. Let me know if you've got any kind of Super Bowl party going on, if you're going to be doing any kind of cooking, what meals you're prepping, what you're getting into, and then, of course, what games will you be playing this weekend? I'm interested to know your thoughts. That does it for me. It's the Y2K Collector. Catch you in the next video. Take it easy.